but Todd Horwitz is here. And he's not buying it at all. In fact, you're a frequent commenter on this program. We appreciate that. And you're always telling us that in the background here, there's this enormous problem all around the world with what central banks are doing and not accomplishing. And you use the word crash. Crash coming, right?
Yes, and there is a crash coming. Good morning. It's nice.
Yeah, good morning.
It's great to be here. The world is not ending. Chicken Little, it's not over. The central banks are doing dramatic amounts of damage to the overall economies around the world. Every time you devalue the currency, you create less opportunity for the middle class to survive and make more money. You create less opportunity for the banks to be willing to want to lend out money. The banks are going to have the biggest problem of all. You know, we always forget about the banks as they were too big to fail, and we bailed them out, which I don't know why, but we bailed them out. Now they're not lending, and the whole premise is built on them lending money. They're not lending out the money, so they're not making enough. So now every error they make is a problem. So what we're going to end up is a bigger problem.
Aren't the banks keeping a great deal of money with the Federal Reserve because the Federal Reserve pays them a very reliable interest rate on it?
They're keeping the money with the full faith and credit of the United States government. They're taking it zero and giving it back to the full faith. However, they get to lend at 1-to-1, but when they lend it on the street to the average guy, they can lend out 9-to-1. And that's where they make their money. So they're not making enough money on their money, which eventually will create a problem.
Okay, we've been hearing about this for a long time, and the crash doesn't come.
Doesn't come.
If you're going to say that kind of thing on television, you've got to give a time frame.
You know, within the year.
Within this year?
But I will say this year we will trade down to the 1500s in the S&P.
1500. Okay, we're now at about 2070. You say 20% down.
20% down.
By the end of this year.
By the end of this year.
And the reasoning is central bank activity, lousy policy.
The legalized Ponzi scheme that they're running by printing more money, because when you take a dollar, this is what you have left from 1913 from the Federal Reserve.
Whoa, careful.
Anyone got some tape?
Whoa.
That's what you have left from 1913.
No, but I do take you seriously. Yeah. I do. Okay, so within the year, 20% down on the S&P 500.
That's what I would think, I think there's too many problems that we've created.
Okay, we hear you, Todd. Thanks very much for joining us in New York today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, more